Welcome to Success Weekly with James Tharris, a weekly dose of thought-provoking ideas and helpful tips on improving your mindset. And now, here's your host, James Tharris.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Success Weekly. I'm your host, James Tharris, and I wanted to talk to you today about an old cliche that you may be very familiar with, and that is, there is no I in team. I'm sure you've heard that before, and let me tell you, there couldn't be anything further from the truth. Now, bear with me for a moment because I know what you're thinking is, wow, that's pretty strong to say. I've heard that, and yes, it's about teamwork, and we really need to work together as a team. Unfortunately, if you take the I out of the team, then you don't have any one member really doing anything. So it's kind of one of those cliches that I think are counterproductive. I mean, it means well when they say that there is no I in team, kind of, indicating that it shouldn't be all about you, and I do agree with that. But I think when people use that particular cliche, they miss a lot of things, and that's the actual you or me or us that are part of that team. Each individual person makes up that team. So without using the I in team, or however it's said, there is no I in team, I think that's really counterproductive to being successful. So I want you to think of what kind of teams are you part of right now. Obviously, you've got to be in some form of a team. Even if you're a stay-at-home person, you're more than likely, a part of a family, which is considered a team. What do you contribute to that team? Do you do anything to help that team succeed? So in your family, it might be the dishes getting done. That's success. So do you help with that, or do you hinder the process? So for example, do you help, if you have an automatic dishwasher, do you take your dishes once you've finished eating and load them into the dishwasher, or do you leave them on the counter for somebody else to do that? I used to do that. I was guilty of that, but I realized it was just as easy to put them in the dishwasher as it was to set them on the counter. So it saved a lot of time, and it helped make a success in our house when it came to washing dishes. Now, most of us are members of other teams as well, and that's kind of where I want to take this a little bit for a few moments. So let's say if you're a student, you're in a class, you're part of a team. They are called your classmates. How much are you putting forth on your own to make your team successful? So how many people, let's say that this is if you're in a college class, how many of your classmates are prepared when it comes time for an oral exam or a pop quiz? How many of your classmates are prepared? Think about that for a moment. Have you had one of those things come up and there were several people unprepared? Maybe you were one of those people unprepared. Well, they're part of your team. Even if you don't think that you're part of your team while you're together for that particular subject matter for the day. So I want you to think about this, there is no I in team, a little bit differently now. So if the team is your classmates, who is the coach? Yes, your teacher. So would your teacher prefer to see everybody succeed, or would your teacher prefer to see some people succeed and everybody else fail? Well, hopefully, if you've got a good teacher, then they're going to want to see everyone succeed, and they want to see every team member coming to the plate. So that's where there is an I in team, and that's you and I. Okay, so same thing goes with maybe at work. If you work someplace, work for somebody, you're part of a team. If you happen to own a business, then you're also part of a team. You might be a team leader, but you're also part of an overall team. What things are you doing personally to help your team succeed? That's what this entire Success Weekly topic is all about today. And I really want to challenge you to think about whether or not you've been thinking about it the wrong way, which is thinking that there is no I in the team. So I want to get you out of the habit of thinking about it's everybody's responsibility and thinking more of it's your responsibility, or in this case, it'd be my responsibility. What can I do to help our team succeed? You see, successful people think like that. Successful people are always on the lookout for ways that they can increase their team's success. Sometimes that might be helping another team member become more efficient or proficient at a specific job or task that they're typically in charge of. But sometimes we need that kind of help from other team members. And so if I am part of a 5-person team, let's say, and I find one or two of my team members needing help somewhere, and I don't do anything about it because I find that it's really not my responsibility, well, then that's me being selfish and thinking, the wrong way. I'm thinking about it as a team. They should be doing their part, and it really should be, everybody doing a little bit. But in some cases, I might have to do a little extra, as long as it doesn't become, part of my regular job where I'm doing that person's job for them on a regular basis. And I'm not speaking about doing somebody's job for them, by the way, either. I'm speaking about maybe helping them do their job a little bit better. And maybe in order for them to do their job better, we have to look at ourselves and say, what are we doing to impede that progress for our other team members? It's just like traffic. I mean, have you ever been in traffic and had a bottleneck? And then once you get through the bottleneck, you don't really realize what the heck the problem was? Yeah, it happens all the time on the interstate. I will be driving and all of a sudden the traffic is slowed, probably 15 miles per hour, sometimes down to 20 miles an hour slower than it was just going 5 or 10 seconds ago. And I wonder, there must be something up ahead. And when I finally get up there, I realize, wow, there was nothing there. It's just that somebody decided that they were going to drive slower through that particular section. Maybe an hour earlier there was an accident, or somebody got pulled over for speeding, or they saw a police officer at the side, and so everybody started to slow down. Well, it's a strange thing that happens, is that continues for a long while. And people will reach that point and they'll slow down, and not realizing why they're slowing down, because they saw the people in front of them slow down, and before long we're all doing it. And then it takes somebody to just say, oh, I guess there's no reason to slow down here, and they pick up the speed. And finally, the repercussions kind of the ripple effect affects the traffic behind them. And that happens sometimes in teams as well. So we might have to look at ourselves and say, what is it that we are doing to impede the progress of our team members, or what is it we are not doing? What are we failing to do that might be harming the success of our team? So think about that for a second. If you're on a team of 5 members or 10 members, and every single person in that team was thinking like this, what can I do to help motivate the team? What can I do to help make the team more successful? If every single team member was thinking like that, my goodness, how much more could you achieve on that particular team? It's mind-boggling if you stop to think about it. So I really want to challenge you today, and this is a shorter than normal podcast, and it doesn't really need to be any longer than this. I just want to challenge you on that belief that there is no I in team, and tell you to think about it differently, and maybe consider that there is an I in team, even though in the actual spelling of the word T.E.A.M, which is an acronym for Together Everyone Achieves More, there actually is an I in there somewhere. It's just hidden between 2 of the letters there, and that's you or me. And that's where the I in team comes from. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and I'll be back next week with another interesting topic for you to help you become more successful and enjoy a more successful, rewarding, fulfilling life.
That's all for this week. Tune in next week for another episode of Success Weekly. Do you have an idea you'd like James to talk about in an upcoming episode? Post your comments and be sure to share this podcast with friends.